Hey all, welcome to ShareTrick. This is Raj here. Well friends, it feels really bad to see my favorite CRISPR Therapeutics stock falling steadily. I thought I should take a closer look. And while I was taking a closer look, I thought why not record my findings so that I can share it with you. So in this video, I'm going to review the company and its recent developments and to get a fix on why the share price continues to drop. But first, let me get a few things out of the way. I'm really happy to announce that I've had the good fortune of being able to snag an interview with Jeff Galvin, who is the CEO of American Gene Technologies. And I'm going to be conducting the interview on the 10th, and I hope to bring the interview to you on the 15th. And for those of you who are not familiar with American Gene Technologies, you'd recollect that I had done a video on AGT 103-T, which is a revolutionary new functional cure that is in the works, and it's in clinical trials right now. It's a very exciting development, and many of you have expressed interest in this particular therapy and this particular company. So I would take this opportunity to talk to Jeff Galvin about how his company is doing and how they came across this cure, etc., etc. So it's going to be a very interesting interview. So I would request that those of you who are already subscribed, please go ahead and press the notify button so that you get notified as soon as the video drops. And those of you who keep on watching the videos here but have not yet subscribed, I think it's now time for you to subscribe. Please subscribe and press the notify button so that you do not miss this exciting interview. Welcome back, friends. Why is CRISPR Therapeutics share falling? I don't have this share in my portfolio due to being fully invested in my portfolio and not having any more cash. And I'm also reluctant to pump any more cash into my portfolio right now because I think that during a difficult time like this, you need to have at least 12 months of expenses stashed away in cash somewhere. So that's the policy I'm following. So I can't do much about it. However, I started my genomics investment journey with CRISPR Therapeutics, so I'm deeply interested in this company. So here is what I'm going to do. First, I'll take a look at the price chart and see if we can get any glimpse of future trends doing technical analysis. And then I will turn to fundamentals. That will include a look at the pipeline progress, how it's happening out there in terms of clinical trials and everything. And then we'll also take a look at the finances. So let's check out the price action first. Well, here we are in the TradingView platform looking at CRISPR Therapeutics. And this chart has got candles which are all 1 day in duration. And if I was to look at various kinds of clues that I could glean from this chart, first of all, what jumps off is the fact that there could be a head and shoulder pattern forming. Head and shoulder patterns are always bearish, and therefore we can expect further fall. And if this was a head and shoulder pattern, then I would expect that the neckline is somewhere out here. Let me draw this. I would expect that the neckline is somewhere out here, which means that the fall at the most could go from, this is the peak of the shoulder, and this is the bottom of the shoulder. So I'm going to take this out from here. I'm going to put it out here. So we are looking at a fall of as low as 37.37 for CRISPR Therapeutics. So this is one way of looking at it. We can't be sure until the event is over. I'm going to take these lines off. Now let us just focus on this area where we are right now. And we can see that we are traveling in a bear channel and we are going downwards on the bear channel, and we have a support here at 47.93. So this could be one turning point. And another way to look at it would be to try and draw a line out here. And if I was to imagine a double bottom, then that would be a bullish catalyst, which would mean that we are going to break through and go up again, which is quite possible to happen. So for that to happen, what we want to do is we want to see these candles keep on going upwards and crossing the top of this formation out here. And in that case, we could say that we had a double bottom, and then we can calculate up to what extent the price can go. So that's the other thought that comes to my mind. But right now, double bottom doesn't seem to be in play. It's too early. We just have a consolidation out here. So let's forget about the double bottom. So the other possibility is that this being a minor support, we bounce off this, or we come down and we bounce off the next level of support, which is at 47.93. You would notice that the MACD is still bullish, but the momentum is below average. And if we were to look at the other aspects, let us just zoom out and see if we can find any other formations of interest. So I can't see anything else. And of course, we have the earnings which came in. Earnings was well received. It was the EPS was good, and as I mentioned, we should not worry too much about the revenue for startup genomic companies because it's very unpredictable. It's not coming from steady streams of monetized medicines, but instead it's coming from collaborations that are signed up and milestone payments. So those things cannot be reliably predicted. So with that said, I don't see anything major wrong with the stock, but the technical charts are looking very weak for CRISPR Therapeutics. And I'm finally hoping that we bounce off 47.93 and try to break this diagonal line of resistance of the bear channel. With that said, let's shift on to the fundamental side. So when it comes to fundamentals, what I would like to do is look at two aspects. One is the pipeline, because these are genomic companies. They don't have a monetized product as yet, so the revenue stream is not there. Therefore, I would like to start with the pipeline and see how the pipeline is doing, how the various therapies are doing. Do we have any bad news there? That is what is causing the problem. That could be one thing. And the other aspect we have to look at is the financials. We recently did the Q3 earnings report for CRISPR, so I'm not going to labor the point too much because all that I have to say, I have already said in the previous video. You can always watch that video from before. And there I concluded that there was nothing major wrong with CRISPR Therapeutics. So with that said, let's look at the pipeline now. Well, here we are in the pipeline page for CRISPR Therapeutics. And we have these two therapies, which are I think I would consider them as the flagship therapies for CRISPR Therapeutics, XSL beta thalassemia and XSL sickle cell disease. Both of them are in advanced clinical trials. So the first candidate, XSL, you recollect that CRISPR said that FDA has agreed to accept its BLA application for a rolling review starting this month. I had mentioned that in the Q3 earnings review for CRISPR. A rolling review allows FDA to start processing the application while it is still waiting for complete documentation. So this is a good thing for CRISPR, in my opinion. Surely not a reason for the shares to drop. And next, when it comes to Exascel, I would say that though I feel that Bluebird Bio is leading with Zynteglo, we saw that right now Bluebird has 27 potential patients being processed for eligibility to get the therapy. What that indicates to me is that the market is still there for CRISPR, and Bluebird is not going to devour the market before CRISPR gets the Exascel approval. So Bluebird will also do well, but CRISPR also has got room to bring Exascel and monetize. So I think even though CRISPR Therapeutics may not have the first in field advantage for sickle cell disease and beta thalassemia, there is no serious harm done here. The pie is big enough. Again, not a reason for the share to drop, in my personal opinion. But if we find that this is the reason why the shares have dropped, then I would say that it's an unjustified reason, and all the more a reason for us to do dollar cost averaging. Of course, this is my personal opinion, not financial advice. So please do your own due diligence before you make any investment decision. So that's what I would say for Exascel. And then if we move down to CTX110, which is a wholly owned CAR-T therapy, it's in clinical trials, and CTX130 is also in clinical trials. There are no adverse report at this point of time. VCTX1 is another therapy on which I'm laser focused because this will be first of its kind, because for type 1 diabetes, there is no other treatment at this point of time, especially from genomics. So this will have the first in field advantage for CRISPR. So I'm looking forward to this. Again, I haven't heard any adverse reports on VCTX210 as yet. And when it comes to VCTX210, CRISPR and ViaCyte had jointly administered the dosage for the first patient somewhere around end of January or early February of 2022. And we were told at that time that we should expect data around this somewhere towards the end of this year. So anytime now we should get some data, and that can also be a positive catalyst for the stock. Probably the drop in the share price is anxiety that we haven't heard anything about VCTX 210. And now here is the interesting thing. If we go back and look at the price chart, okay, I'll go into trading view and I'll talk to you in there. You will see that CRISPR Therapeutics has been dropping since the Zynteglo approval. So let me just get into trading view to show you the So here we are in TradingView, and you will see that somewhere around 18th of August, somewhere around 18th of August is when I think Zynteglo got approved. And since then, you have seen a steady drop in the share price for CRISPR Therapeutics. So I am thinking that probably, even though I don't think it's a good enough reason for the share price to fall, the SCD and TDT market is big enough, and Bluebird can't consume the entire market fast enough to prevent Exacel from being monetized. I think that that's not a reason for the share price to fall like this, but out here, there seems to be a coincidence that around the time that Zynteglo was approved, we are seeing the fall in the price here. Let me do a quick Google search to find when Zynteglo got approved. As you can see out here, it says that FDA approves Bluebird Bio's Zynteglo, the first gene therapy for people with TDT, on August 17, 2022. And with that said, and if I was to go back into the price chart out here and look for August 17, so where is August 17? So we have August 17 here. So you can see that there was a sharp drop for CRISPR Therapeutics out here. You see a big gap down, and then the share started falling. There was a bit of a recovery. At this time, I would have thought a cup and handle was forming, but it was false because the handle never formed. It kept falling further and further. So I think this is an overreaction. Guys, you will keep on hearing me say that this is an overreaction, but I think the market is very skittish. And because I do not have my money put into CRISPR Therapeutics share right now, I can be very, very objective about this. And I don't think that the share price should have fallen so much, because there seems to be a direct correlation between the approval of Zynteglo by FDA and then the share price of CRISPR Therapeutics falling. But we saw in the quarterly report for Bluebird that they just have 27 patients who are in the process of being financially and medically approved in order to qualify to get the treatment. So things are not moving that fast, and there's plenty of time for CRISPR Therapeutics to get the Exacel in place, and they have a rolling BLA agreement with FDA, so things should move pretty fast. I'm looking forward to this as a dollar cost opportunity, dollar cost averaging opportunity, but unfortunately I don't have the cash to do that. But that's my personal opinion, of course. So I think in balance, if I was to look at the whole picture, I think the drop is not valid if it was because of approval of Zynteglo. Because there was, if I recollect, there was a news that I read in June that in its CLIMB clinical studies of Exacel, of the 44 TDT patients in trial, 42 of them were transfusion-free in follow-up reports after the therapy, and 31 patients with severe sickle cell disease in the trial were free of painful recurrent episodes typical of those with SCD when they came for follow-up. This indicates the viability of the Exacel therapy, in my opinion. So with the rolling FDA BLA submission, I think it's in a very good shape. The therapy is in a very good shape, and there shouldn't be much cause of concern out here. The other event that happened was that CEO Samarth Kulkarni sold 25,000 shares. I don't think that should be viewed with suspicion, because executives get compensation in stock options and need to sell stocks from time to time as per their personal financial position. Opinion leaders are watched, and their actions do tend to be reciprocated. So one of the things I picked up was that Kathy Woods had sold CRISPR Therapeutics stocks somewhere around 3 weeks ago while loading up on Tesla. Maybe that spooked some people and they started dumping the shares. Around the same time, it was announced that Lawrence Klein, CEO of CRISPR Therapeutics, was resigning. Combined, the Kathy Wood move and the Lawrence Klein departure, along with CEO selling 25,000 shares, can look like a negative catalyst. But all this happened only 3 weeks ago, but the decline of CRISPR Therapeutics share prices started somewhere around 17th of August, which aligns very neatly with the approval of Zynteglo by FDA, and that seems to be the reason for the drop in the share price. And I personally feel that the drop is unjustified, because CRISPR Therapeutics is still on track to be able to monetize Exacel pretty well. So that's my final opinion on this matter. Of course, it's not financial advice, so you can do your own analysis. Plus, remember that CRISPR has sufficient cash in its book and has a very rich pipeline. It has got 5 candidates in clinical trials. So it's absolutely in a very strong position. If Exascel was approved, they will not have the same problems that Bluebird faced for monetizing, as they have sufficient cash. In conclusion, I think that CRISPR Therapeutics right now is in a dollar cost averaging opportunity. Of course, these are my personal opinion, not financial advice. So please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions. That's all for now, friends. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye for now.